Alright. I was going to give you guys a tour of my and James's effort in Stardew Valley. We spent a lot of time, 369 hours on this stupid game. We got $11.5 million already, so I think we're doing okay with it. So this is on our Xbox. This is the house. We got Krobus living with us. He's our roommate. Basically ask him to marry you and he'll be your roommate. I have some kegs set up here and some jelly preserves makers. Those are my reminders, and it tells me if the wine is ready for certain barns today, so I know I need to go fill them. See, there's Krobus in the kitchen. In this box I've got 136 wines sitting here ready to be put into the cellar. The cellar is full. I found the most optimum way of putting as many barrels in here as possible, and you want to wait till those are iridium stars, so you get the most money out of them. But Krobus is in the kitchen, there he's leaving, but we're trying to get all the food items, and you have to get all the ingredients for the food, and it's kind of a pain. So we're trying to get as many things in there as possible. You just put as many fridges in there as you possibly can fit. But you got some bedrooms full of some other chests and whatnot that have some cool things in there. But let's go outside and check it out. So outside, these black chests are full of tools and all things that we use frequently. All these chests are color coordinated, so like the blue ones are going to have fish and stuff like that in them. And we've made all these barns and storage sheds full of barrels of wine. And this is all ancient fruit. Everything is ancient fruit because it's worth the most. So every single one, and the outside is coordinated with the inside, so whatever pops up as ready on the outside, the inside is also ready, all at the same time. So every barn, those layouts in the barns are the most ideal way of getting the most barrels in there. Fast forwarding to show you what's in some of these chests. So like I've got all the fish ones are in the blue ones, all the vegetable ones are in the green ones, the pink ones are flowers and things we've collected. James didn't like throwing away anything, so we ended up coordinating a lot of these things, and it ended up becoming really, really useful because you can make different things out of those different flowers and fish types. You need to create dishes and whatnot. So here's the wine ready to go, and wow, so many wines. But if you hold down the button while you have the ancient fruit, you can fill the barrel while you get the wine at the same time. So I'm just holding down the fill it button while I'm walking around, and it's just collecting and refilling all at the same time. So this layout is just maximizing the space so that you can get as many wines out of this whole thing as possible. I'm only going to show you one of these barns, but each of the barns is the same kind of way. This is the big barn, so you have to like get the small one and then upgrade it and then upgrade it again or something like that. It's a lot of stuff. But there's a couple more barrels you could fit in if you use the PC version, but we're on the console. This is Xbox. But the Switch is the same way. You can't do like corner angles or something like that, so you have to use a layout like this. Did a lot of research and figured that out. But I'm not going to show you this whole thing going through this one either. Just assume that it's the same kind of deal. I got to go and refill all of those. But this is winter time, so it's all about the wine and just filling those barrels. But during the summer, you have to do the wine and the harvesting of the ancient fruits, and it's a bit more of a job. So I'm kind of in the middle of redesigning the layout for our Junimo huts and the ancient fruits. For now, we're just getting our ancient fruits from the inside garden. I have a few vegetables I'm growing to allow for some new foods and whatnot. I need a couple different vegetables in there. But everything else in here is ancient fruit or the gem berries. The gem berries is the special seeds that you get, the rare seeds from the traveling cart. Get as many of those as you possibly can. Go find out what days the traveling cart shows up and always buy those. Those are worth the most money and have the most energy ever. So the most recurring fruit is the ancient fruit because it just keeps popping up new stuff. You just got to keep watering it. The jamberries is one and done. One fruit creates one thing, but you can replicate the seeds and you basically just get one for one. So you can just keep doing the same one over and over, or you got to buy the new seeds each time. And it can be worth it if you do a lot of stuff with those, but ancient fruit's where it's at. So each of these categories, the brown chests have nothing in them and they just haven't been colored because we're not using them yet, but I grouped them by the different types of things. So like the white ones over there have the gems and stones and that kinds of thing, and the black ones have tools and rings and gauntlets and all kinds of weird stuff, swords and stuff like that. But we got the maximum of pretty much everything you can get, and all the extra ones are in those chests. We ended up just spending a lot of time with getting these this workbench set up. If you have the chest touch the side of the workbench, you can craft from the things that are inside those chests. So this is a perfect way of having like one of each of the different types of chests in there. See how they're color coordinated, and you can just pretty much craft anything you ever need. But we just built this barn here. It's an empty barn, but it's going to have no animals in there. That's going to be more ancient fruit, or maybe we'll do sweet jamberries or something like that in there. It's going to be more kegs. It's all about the kegs. So just hop on the horse here and maybe kind of run around. Oh yeah, I can show you our cave real quick. We opted for the fruit when we first started this in the beginning, but I've heard that the mushrooms are a lot more profitable. Not that I care about that so much, but we just get a few fruits in here and just sell them off, and I rarely check it in there anymore. But we have an actual barn and an actual coop, and it has actual animals in it, and we have the maximum number of everything you can get in there. But we found that building fences is great, but it's way better to use these egg makers, or mayonnaise makers I should say. You see on the far left, I'm filling preserves right now, but you see the instead of fence, I'm using those mayonnaise makers and these crafting kind of devices, because they don't break, and the animals still have enough room to run around in, and I can still get in and out of the area with those gates, but they don't break down when the seasons change, and that's way nicer. So lesson learned there. That's the way to go. But we have a ton of those lightning rods on the left side, and we line the outer edges of the entire farm with gigantic silos and fill it with the hay once, and it's good for almost 2 or 3 years. But I have like, I don't know, 16 of these silos all over the place. So running back in the house, I'm going to show you some of these foods that we're trying to create. I mean, some of these are really hard to find the recipe for. It doesn't tell you which ones are missing. You have to go online and try to figure out which recipes you don't have, and if you can come up with the right ingredients, the recipe will pop up. And this is kind of our main focus right now. So I'm putting these foods away that I was harvesting the vegetables for. I have a completely empty fridge in here. That's crazy. But we got the iridium trash can, iridium hoe, iridium, everything's iridium. I don't understand that, but we didn't spend a whole lot of time in the mines. Like a lot of people who play this game go and they're all about getting deeper and deeper in the mines and getting as much stuff in the mines, and I don't care about the mines so much. He was real scared of the mines when he was younger and didn't want to mess with the mines. Oh, here's our ponds. Yeah, so we have a recycled trash mine. That's our original one. And then we have these new ponds we've put different fish in. And you can see our Junimo huts there are laid out. The little squares that are on the ground, those are for sprinkler heads. I've got iridium sprinklers going to put out there. And a few of them in between are for scarecrows. When you get the maximum size scarecrow, you need them to keep the crows away from all of your foods and whatnot. So it's a work in progress a little bit, but it's almost a super smooth running machine here. It's just a really easy way of managing the farm. Is you get those Junimo huts and they collect all the fruit for you. All you have to do is go to the hut and then pull it out of their little storage they have there. It's way easier. So hope you like our video here. This is our Stardew Valley kind of world, and I hope you had a good time checking out what we got going on here. Thanks.